ran across this video from a content creator by the name of Alexander Grace. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description, and it beckoned to me. It said, Jay, there is so much that you can really parse from this content. So the title of the video is These Women Don't Think Their Past Should Matter. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have a blast. Let's go.
Controversial answers. You're gonna get hate.
How many sexual partners is a woman likely to have by the time she is 30?
How many is she likely to have?
Maybe around 15.
15? I think any amount is acceptable, but on average I'd say over 20.
5 to 10, maybe.
Upwards of 50, only because for women, I think they're very experimental in their teenage years.
No, sweetie. No, sweetie. Not at all. See, this is fantastic. First and foremost, it's not America. This is the West, all right? And all of these young ladies, they seem to be, like probably late to mid 20s in that range. And nice dimples, by the way. And honestly, they've all been raised to believe that men and women are the exact same thing. There are no inherent differences between us. So when, you have individuals such as this young lady saying, oh, experimental in their younger teen. No, they're not experimental, sweetie. You are gullible in your younger teenage years, right before the first hit, It's like I used to tell my ex's daughter, you can't miss what you don't know, right? So if you start, particularly young, and he says by the age of 30. So let's say, let's shoot like 15, all right? So for 15 years there, a lot of these ladies are talking about, 15, 20, one a year. It's like, sweetie, are you completely unfamiliar with the process of pair bonding? Of course you are, because that's not what you've been getting taught.
Like about 30, maybe 30, 40. It depends on how open a woman is. I mean, I think it's
How loose a woman is, if we're going to keep it a buck, and 30 and 40. See, ladies, it's a bit of a pickle you put yourself into the first time that you let a dude hit, because every dude after that is going to be like, well, you liked him enough to let him hit. So, what about me though? And thusly, she's kind of trapped in this position of like, yeah, you have to give your body to this guy and this guy and this guy, just, ethically and off top. And the next thing you know, you've amassed yourself quite a bit of a body count, and you find yourself unable to make connections really anymore because of the first few bad connections. And ladies, that's where your father came in, all right? Particularly back in the day. This is why the fatherlessness, not just in America, but all throughout the West, it's terrible.
okay. Also, if the woman has serious partners, that's also fine if she doesn't want to. But I think like an average number would be like 40.
Damn, 40? Yo, lady, none of them are aware that they retain all the DNA of every man that has been inside of them. Whew, you are a walking petri dish, my love. And deal is that, like, yeah, she seems like she would have a high account because she more on the fugly side. So thusly, the fugly ones that they easy pickings for guys. Trust me, fellas, am I wrong?
30, at least. Yeah, I don't know. I reckon upwards of 50. Like, nothing to be ashamed of if they do.
There's nothing to be ashamed of if they do, because you're female, and the deal is that you are just rocking on that feminine whimsy. That's the deal. We've talked about this. I've theorized on this channel several times that the masculine is the work and the feminine is the play. It's whimsical. It's like, yes, you can do whatever you want. It's the type of mindset and type of mentality, and trust me, plenty of guys have it, that would lead you to think you could take $1 billion from the New York City Police Department, give it to the ever so efficient social workers, and think you're not gonna have a few problems. You get what I'm saying? Look at me tying everything together. Yeah, world events. You get a lot here. You get a lot on this channel. But either ways, as far as she's concerned, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, a couple pumps, but it's the dimples that's really putting her over for me. That whole she's in England, so she's British. It's really the dimples that are putting her over for me. But ultimately, her sitting there thinking, "Oh yeah, I reckon 50, or you shouldn't be ashamed of like laying down with 50 dudes like in 15 years. By the age of 30, 15 years, whoo, sweetie, 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 damaged goods. That's kind of basically all you're really. I mean, like as far as relationships and wanting to commit to such a lady, that's just off the cards, off the table for a lot of men. Because yeah, we were just there for the nut. It doesn't anything that happens afterwards is like that's on you. Go live your life. We've interacted as far as this interaction's going to take us, sweetie.
20. I don't know. Maybe the ideal one, 20. 20? You are 22, and how many have you had? No, I think maybe 10. Yeah, 10. But I think it's okay to have any number. If you have 100, if you have 200, it's also fine,
Honestly, like, yo, I can't help but feel like she a jump, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, but deal is that you can't sit there and expect a man, because that's where like a part as far as like the masculine, you can't the masculine will want to play with you all day, but it will not want to commit to you by any stretch of the imagination.
Is it possible for a woman to have sex with a man and have no emotional investment?
Yeah, I do think so.
Okay.
I don't think.
Yes, it is. After a certain number, I don't think that any studies have been done on this, but after the number of like 5 or so, I think, it is what it is. And it's why it's such a terrible idea to commit to you, because there's no point in committing to somebody who's not emotionally invested in me. And when the more via the pair bonding process, the more gentlemen that you let between your thighs, the less emotionally attached you are to them. So thusly, that whole switch can get turned off, and it is what it is. Like that's just how it works. It's no longer a matter of intimacy. It's just a matter of pleasure and in many cases profession.
So from past experiences, yes. Yeah, it is.
I gotta smash. I'd smash her.
So I wish that was true, but I think it's just how we're made.
Of course it is. It's possible, definitely.
Tricky. Past experience, no.
What's crazy is that like, yo, honestly, like I can't put a finger on it. I know it's her eyes, but something puts this one over for me that I can't particularly put a finger on, but would like to put a finger in.
Just your mother.
For me, no. For me, it will be difficult. Yeah.
I think if people are being honest, it's pretty tricky.
And which gender is better suited to casual sex, men or women?
Definitely men.
I would say men.
Men. I'd say men.
Men.
See, well, thanks. We appreciate it, but you've been raised in under this idea that we're the same thing, that we are interchangeable in many ways. So thusly, you're like, oh yeah, hundreds and stuff like that. No. Once again, because the pair bonding, yes, it does have to do with the male, but the thing about the male and the masculine is if you do what it says, if you follow directions and orders, then it'll love you for forever. like if you can follow directions and do what you're told and handle things in the most proficient and professional manner as possible, love you for forever. But the feminine, that is it's a completely different connecting process, because the guy that's is supposed to be cream pieing you is the guy that's supposed to be providing for you and protecting you. And unfortunately, it's just like no, don't take any offense by this woman's lib, but yeah, you're like, yeah, okay, ladies, go ahead, make all your choices for yourself. You know, you don't need no father, you don't need no man, and boom, alcohol consumption, wine, like day drinking, pill consumption, you know, people being on antidepressants, particularly the females, the single mothers, is like through the roof. So, you know, your grandmas and your nanas and your moms all made these choices for you that ultimately have turned around and bit you in the ass.
Probably man.
I think it's both. Yeah, for sure both.
Okay.
I don't really understand why. I think that
Oh, what's that? A woman that doesn't understand something. What are the odds? I think they're very easy to fund to plant the seed and leave. Okay. We're getting into some meat and potatoes here. Let's get into a little bit more meat and potatoes. I know the video's running a little bit long, but hey, yeah, it's called content, right? Let's keep going.
Very easy to just plant their seed and leave, while the women are the ones that actually have to deal with everything afterwards.
Okay. They want to plant their seed and leave, and woman has to deal with everything afterwards. That's why, sweetie, it is important for women to have discretion. But unfortunately, you know, there's this great welfare state sitting there chilling, waiting for you. And what do? You just have, yeah, like there's this system here for you for him to be able to just like leave, or for you to never tell him anything at all. Just go off, have the baby, and do as you please, because that's your baby and that's your property, and that's something that you want to love, and you want to love you unconditionally, and you know that you'll actually have to adhere to what a masculine man wants from you. You can't just like run them all over the place, and that's not really a swag. You'd rather create a person to run all over the place for you, as opposed to be under the thumb, you know, or the patriarchal rule of somebody else. Seriously, those dimples are doing something for her.
I would say both, honestly. I don't think there's much of a difference. It really depends on your personality and if you get attached to someone quite easily.
After a woman has slept with a man, is she more likely to look for positive traits in his personality?
Probably yes. I would say so from experience.
I definitely think so, from, once again, past experiences.
That's the thing, particularly like that first like 2 or 3. I don't mean to group, right? I mean, there's outliers for everything, but those first 2 or 3 partners, those first few experiences are, you know, like really, that it's the definition of intimacy. And so, you know, like once, like, you know, he's been inside of her, that particularly in that beginning, yeah, it's all cloud 9. It's all, you know, oh my goodness. If she hasn't been, you know, just run through the hell by that. I think if you crack in like if you're in the top 5, I think you good. Like you like she cares about you to an extent. Past 5, nah.
probably yes.
Yes, I think so. I think so. I do.
Yeah, because initially y'all blinded by the schmeat. She's like, oh, it felt so good. It was so good, daddy. Can I go make you some tacos? Yes, please. I am hungry. Can I clean up something for you? By all means. And she ready to go. You just start popping them on out. Like, that's really how that is. But because she's really making all these choices and making these calls, is usually to a dude who, like, you know, like, particularly when we as men are younger, it's just like, yo, it is what it is. Like, this was never going to be a forever thing. You can't, like, it really sucks the position that we've put our people in, you know, is that, hey, like, you know, I mean, a few moments of pleasure can sit there and just rock you for the rest of your life. So with that being said, I think this is a good place to end it. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub and enjoy my fantastic voice, and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like are the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know, what do you guys think in the comments? See, yeah, she's like, okay, this one right here, she's alright. Let's skip through this. Let's skip around a little bit. Oh wait, we've seen her already, and we have no interest in the ad. But I gotta ask you guys, like, am I wrong? Do you think that there's any kind of it's just the same chicks over and over again? We'll leave it on her. She reminds me of the chick from what's that? The Office, the redhead from The Office. I got a thing for him. sue me, right? So, do you guys think that there is a correlation with the fatherlessness that's going on, that's rampant all throughout the West, whether we're talking about black, white, green, blue, purple, America, Australia, England, there's a lot of fatherlessness, and the states made it that way so they could create all of these different, individuals with no true goals or no true purpose. And they've really put the young ladies out there because they need breeders for the most part. And, it's really sad. It really is that we're geared, and really structured in this fashion. But you may disagree. That's what I have a comment section for. And until the next one.